Ancient technologies. Vibrational power. It seems like at least the ancient Egyptians, but I believe just ancient humans in general understood the idea of vibrations, right? Movements. They would have eventually figured out that it's something of use, right? They would have realized stuff like heartbeats and stuff like that, how, it creates something you can feel, right? You can feel heartbeat, just like you feel the rush of river, right? River water rushing by. Air. The list goes on. The thing is, I believe in ancient. In ancient times, they, use vibrational power to power things, right? To move things. Interesting enough, in ancient Egypt, they have a symbol, which is this pyramid-like symbol, right? This triangle with a little triangle inside of it. So it kind of looks like a pyramid within a pyramid, right? And this means this is Di, D-I, or it means power. And then of course here's the Ankh, and then Ankh Di is life, power, right? Power of life, as it were. And over here you see like an arm holding the little triangle in the hand. Over here is an illustration of a crystal-like pyramid. There is quartz in there with copper and stuff like that in somebody's palm of their hand. And then over here is a pyramid, right? Within a pyramid. So these things here just to illustrate the idea of a physical version of this symbol, basically. Over here you got a picture of somebody holding something in their hand that seems to be lighting up white. And it's triangular and it's in somebody's hand, right? So it could be that item. It could not be. It could just be like some cake or something. Some people would say this like a cake, some type of triangular cake. But anyway, but let's say it wasn't, right? Let's say it was this pyramid in their hand, and they're able to light it up, right? They would create light through vibrations, right? Because quartz crystal, which is what I believe the material will be made of, because they do have a whole bunch, as you can see through this image here. In Egypt, they have a whole bunch of quartz crystals. Specifically, these are white quartz crystals. The crystals I have are not white quartz crystals; they're the clear ones. So I definitely need to get me some white quartz crystals and play around with them. And as you can see, the fact that they're white quartz crystals does lead to this image here of a whitish, type of triangular item in their hand. So the quartz crystals I play around and experiment with are not the white ones. More reason why I should get the white ones, right? So I can experiment with them and see the difference between the white quartz crystals and the clear ones. There might be some, I don't know, like some calcium or something in the white ones, or some other element. It's always good to, check some stuff out. But anyway, so frequency, right? Why would quartz crystal matter is because we do use quartz for vibrational purposes, right? When you run electricity through a quartz crystal, it will vibrate. And we use it in watches and stuff like that. So we do use it in modern day technology. And the fact that they do have tons of crystals over there, right? Quartz crystals specifically. Granite has quartz crystals in it. So quartz crystal is important. So that's, so something to keep in mind, right? Something to look into. Again, like I said, granite having quartz crystals, which right here is this symbol is etched into granite, red granite. And there's quartz crystals in there. So it could be of importance. And then, they got the Baghdad battery, which, Basically, it's like a capacitor, but if you use it right, you could turn it into a battery, right, with like limestone and some other chemicals, and be able to produce electricity. It's just, I will do some experimentations with the type of stuff later on. I'm looking towards getting the materials to do the experiments with. But I just want to put the information out there, the idea of like, okay, vibration, right? Using vibrations as a power source, right? Using it to make things move, right? Even when you pour water into a cup, you will notice there's a little bit of movement in there, right? From the water hitting the cup and filling it up, we feel some type of movement because, vibration, because the water's flowing. So if you can transfer that flow, that vibrational flow, into moving things, right? You can power things. Because ironically, that's how electricity works, right? It works in the process of causing things to move. You're moving electrons from point A to point B and causing actions to take place. So using vibrations like from a tuning fork, as you can see depicted over here in this statue right here, there's what appears to be two tuning forks strung up by strings. And strings, are good at transferring vibrations, right? Because the strings will vibrate, right? They'll shake, they'll vibrate. And you see over here, you get the little vibration. It's supposed to symbolize water, but it's a little too jagged, a little too triangular of the word. To me, that's more of a triangle wave than water wave, but waves are waves nonetheless. Waves, right? Waves, vibrations. Sound creates vibrations. They could have figured all that stuff out, right? These look like bells strung up. Like I said, string, so you can transfer them. So all you have to do is ring one of the bells, and the other ones will ring. Just because the vibration from one would transfer to the other ones, causing all of them to ring. So it could be a way of, like I said, transferring power, as it were, right, through vibrations. Just like if you ever had those the cup phones, where you take two cups, poke holes in the bottom of them, put strings at the through the bottom and tie them up, and now you have a phone cup, and then you can talk to each other. Because what happens is the sound that of your voice, right, causes a vibration. The vibration of your voice will vibrate through the string, and it'll carry it through the string to the other cup, and then the cup will echo out the vibration, and boom, you hear somebody's talking, right? And that's a simple thing, right? That's a simple concept. So why wouldn't they have something like that in ancient times where they transferred information? They could have had communication device. That's for another video, right? How they communicate, but through distances. But for now, we're just talking about just making things move through vibrations. And quartz crystals, when you charge it with electricity, and it could be something like static electricity as well. So just rubbing your quartz crystal in your hair would be able to trigger its ability to vibrate, but it's going to be a lot of electricity. So obviously, from what I heard, from my research, is the bigger the crystal is, the slower it vibrates. The smaller, the faster it vibrates. So that's an important detail to keep in mind. So clearly, to have, so it'll be slower, which means it will require more power, so to speak, in order to make it vibrate faster, as it were. So something to keep in mind. But the properties of the white quartz crystal could be different than the regular quartz, or all quartz the same, whatever, right? And here I got the the obelisks. These could obviously be like tuning forks, so to speak, or like frequencies or antennas, for transmitting vibrations, right, frequencies, and that vibration can be obviously received by anything that vibrates. And anything, like I said, anything that vibrates, especially if it's attached to something that can turn into some type of audio sound, like a cup. So imagine a cup that vibrates based off of a vibration hitting it. It's going to make obviously sound. So it'll act like a speaker. This is what I'm saying. So the possibility of being able to speak, from point A to point B. So this could, right, be, ancient, right, as it were, communications, right, again, transferring vibrations. So we'll get more into that in the future. Right now, let's look into the idea of just making things vibrate, like shake, move, whatever you want to call it, just to power something, right? Like a drill, for example, right? A drill bit. Just being able to move something like a tube drill, so you can make tube holes, right? Tube drill holes, or being able to vibrate, like a knife or something, and the knife, with it vibrating, becomes a ultrasonic knife, which means it can cut through a lot of stuff relatively easy, right? Because it's vibrating. So it's obviously something I'll have to experiment with. But the idea of taking like a trumpet or a flute or something, attaching like a knife or some type of cutting instrument, as it were, to it, play the instrument, right, and see, how fast the blade will vibrate from being attached to the trumpet and whatnot, or the flute or whatever wind instrument, or even string instrument, and see how much it cuts, right? So, ultrasonic drilling could be possible, ultrasonic cutting, right, or sawing, whatever. So, like, in other words, like, you don't have to spin a blade, right, a knife or a saw. Let's just say saw. You don't need to spin a saw in order for it to cut, right? You just need to vibrate it. You just need to make it move it millimeter by millimeter or centimeter by centimeter, right? I think millimeter was the right one. Millimeter by millimeter at rapid speed. Just move it enough and repeatedly, so that way it can put in some work. Because the thing is, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to move the blade itself to cut something. You can move the thing you want to cut instead. So you just gotta have the cutting instrument moving a little bit, right? Repeatedly, vibrating, oscillating, whatever term you want to use, right? Shaking, and then just move your instrument against it, right? It's gonna be cool once I do some videos showing some experiments, some live action stuff. Because there was something I was thinking about, like close to running water, like a river or something, close to the shore, you could probably feel the vibration. Should definitely be able to feel the vibration of the water. Sometimes I've had a scenario where I was close to like a body of water, and I can feel it. I can feel the body of water, and then hear it, right? So you can feel and hear it. And the closer you get to it, you feel that powerful vibration of the water flowing. So imagine taking like a stick, stick it into the ground, attach a wire to it, or a rope, right, a string or something, and then attach it to something else, like a bell, and then boom, now the vibration of the water rushing, shaking the ground, which will shake the stick, which the stick will shake the string, and the string will shake the bell. Now you're powering, through vibrations, a bell. Obviously, it'd be better to power something else, like a fan, right? But have like a hand fan vibrating because of the the stick vibrating, right, or string, whatever you attach it to, and the water rushing, causing the shaking of the stick, and the fan is on it, the hand fan, right? And now you're getting fan. Now you have an air conditioner, right? You have a floor fan. You have an automatic fan, right? So that kind of stuff. Again, is using vibration, aka movement, right, to power stuff. So you don't need electricity when you just need stuff to move, right? And transferring that movement, that vibration, into whatever you want to use it for, whatever you want to power, as it were. Tuning forks, interesting enough, just by hitting it causes vibration. It starts vibrating, and I have one of my tuning forks. I actually have them here, but one of my tuning forks is the 128 hertz tuning fork, and that one vibrates the longest. All the other ones don't vibrate for too long, but that one vibrates for the longest. Let's see how long. Maybe it vibrates for like a minute and a half, something like that. That's actually pretty long, especially when you just every minute or so you hit it, and it lasts for like a minute and a half, right? So that means you hit it 60 times in 1 hour. You have an hour of vibrational power, right? And you only have to hit it every minute or so. And a lot can happen in a minute. So you can do a lot within a minute. You definitely could cut a lot within a minute, especially if it's a cutting rate. If you could cut, let's say half an inch per minute, then 2 taps, right, which would be 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, you should be able to cut an inch worth of something, right? So it has some use, and you definitely are not using a lot of your own physical energy, right, to cut something or to move something, right? Because you're using a tuning fork to do large majority of the work. But like I said, the whole because if I attach, like I said, like a nail, a chisel, a knife, or a cutting utensil to a tuning fork, hit the tuning fork, and then it starts vibrating, and then just use the vibration of the tuning fork with the tool attached to it, and have it put in some work. And right there, without electricity, I have a powered tool, and it's powered through vibrations. As you can see in this image, we have what looks like a tuning fork drill with a flywheel on the top and a handle, shaft, and what appears to be like a tuning fork with some extra attachment to it. Don't know what it is exactly. I don't know if it's just an extra prong that's horizontal, or it's a disc, like a circular disc, and the 2 prongs are sticking through it, whatever. That could be it could be something circular, and it could be like a guard, like a splash guard, as it were, or maybe a stopper, a way to stop you from drilling too far, right? That we drill down to a limit. And the idea is this will be spinning, and the 2 prongs, the tuning fork prongs, especially in a circular pattern, if you're spinning it, will create a circle, right? So you have 2 cutting points creating a circle. Speaking of cutting points, I've been experimenting with my quartz crystals, and I've been using it to drill into my red quartz granite, or my red granite, and it definitely works. So I'll do some more experimenting with that, but it's definitely works, and definitely makes it easy to cut, or drill, I should say, granite. So that's obviously interesting. I mean, we know that quartz can cut quartz, as it were, like granite can cut granite type stuff. So any material that's the same can cut each other, as it were. But it's interesting just in general, I can use quartz to cut or drill into granite. So obviously something to look into for granite cutting. You know, I mean, even having like a container with like a hornet in it, maybe not a hornet, but like a bee or something, buzzing around in there, right? It's gonna vibrate a little bit because the buzzing, right? It's gonna be vibrating, and then if you attach anything to that vibrating container, right, you're going to cause it to move. You're going to cause it to do stuff. Like I said, if you attach like a string to the container, and the string will transfer the vibration of the bee that's in the container, you can use that to power stuff. So that, just some thoughts there. Don't want to go too long. Just want to put out the idea of, using vibration to power, using stuff like flutes and horns and any, wind instruments, or even any string instruments, even stuff like a drum, right? Using those types of things like musical instruments in general as a form of technology. That would be for another video, musical instruments as technology. That would be a video for that. But just want to talk about the idea of just vibrating, and the fact that you could use quartz crystals, for example, to create vibrations. So that could be a power source in itself, right? As in, like, put a little power, especially a little electrical power, or maybe use a tuning fork specifically with a quartz crystal to potentially create, more vibrational power, right, as it were, or maybe vibrate the crystal enough that it releases its electrons, right, through mechanical stress, right, and then, or use the tuning fork to create mechanical stress by like causing something to move and squish the quartz crystal, as it were, and then release the electricity, and then you can have electrical power and create, electronics, right? And that'll be the end of the video.